and welcome to the Nerd Report podcast, chapter 1 or part 1. And you're probably wondering, damn, but I've seen Nerd Report podcasts here on this channel already. We're just starting all over because, I was thinking about it and I cannot find, I'm getting a feedback right here. I cannot find where exactly we're at as far as like what number, right? I don't know what, so we're getting an echo back there. See, technical issues already. What Nerd Report podcast we're up to. All right. So I'm going to start all over again. I'm abolishing everything. I'm dissolving the Senate. I'm decanonizing everything. Just kidding. There's a lot of good stuff behind, but we're going to do it this way. Nerd Report podcast number 1. And right now I invited a bunch of people to come in, and I want to thank you guys who are already coming into the channel in the comments area or watching. I got my man from Nerd Reactor. What's up, John?
What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching. Louis, Mecca, love this guy to death. And Jeffrey, also love him.
Jeffrey, what's up, man?
He's in purgatory.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor for you to have me. You're welcome. I'm Jeffrey Harris.
Okay, so once again, this is the way it's going to go down. I have a few topics I picked out. My guests will have topics as well if they want to add any. And the most important thing to me has always been what you guys think, what the people watching. You could chime in the comments, talk about anything we're talking about, add to something, fact check me, correct me, because I'm always like 90% of the time I'm wrong. Okay, so hook it up with that. Okay, let's go to our first topic. All right. So this is a film based on a video game that people have been waiting for more than 2 years. Tom Holland's been announced. What's the guy? That guy runs Nike. What's it? Jeffrey, what's the director from Bumblebee? The Bumblebee.
Travis Knight. He's not on the movie anymore.
He's a son of.
But you know what? We're going to talk about that because the film has actually been delayed. Jeffrey, let's start off with you real quick. Could you give us, and keep it on this topic, a brief history of that movie based on a video game till now, like real brief?
So Uncharted is this popular sort of action adventure franchise for the PlayStation. It's very cinematic in style and presentation. It's basically like a video game version of Indiana Jones. I think John would agree with that. And because of that, people have wanted to see a movie version for years, and the movie has been in development at Sony Pictures for years. The most recent iteration would star Tom Holland as the hero, Nathan Drake, and it's been delayed constantly, and it just got delayed again. And a recent change in directors. But that's a brief sum up.
John, real quick, what do you think of all this that's happening? And are you a big fan of the video game?
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Uncharted, but this movie stuff, I'm not a huge fan of it because of all the delays. Like originally they had, what was his name? Jeffrey, the actor that was attached.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, he was attached.
He's technically still attached now in a different role.
And was it David O. Russell? He was attached to direct, and they got another director, and then another director. And at this point, I just don't care anymore. And now to hear this news, I'm like, meh. What else is new?
I gotta agree with John. Although I'm not a big fan of the video game, I'm down for this movie 100%. I'll be watching it as soon as it comes out on the first day because I'll be excited. It looks like an awesome project. But that being said, it's hard for me to get excited about any project that continues to get canceled time after time after time again. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to be real excited the week of. Jeffrey, where are we at right now? What do you think of the situation? What the hell's going on?
So right now, the current release date for the film is March 5th, 2021. It was moved from December 18th, 2020. It took a release date that was previously occupied by Masters of the Universe, like He-Man from Mattel. That no longer has a release date. Go figure. The current director is Ruben Fleischer, who directed the Zombieland films, directed Venom, and Tom Holland would star in the lead. It's just that when is Tom Holland going to do this between his Spider-Man commitments because he has to do the third Spider-Man movie next. So I think for this film, the release date is more or less a placeholder. If this movie ever gets made, I will be remarkably surprised. But you never know. Like, there was a time I didn't think Venom would actually get made, and they did make it and release it. So I don't want to say it's impossible, but it just seems highly unlikely because, as John said, this film has been delayed, I feel like, on and off for like 5 years, right, John?
More than I think it feels like it's more than 5 years.
Maybe it could be longer, 10 years, if you track this movie back long enough. Like at one point, we had David O. Russell attached as a director.
Yeah.
Then Travis Knight. There have been, and that's just to name a few. There have been at least 7, maybe more directors attached to this project. And the latest one is Ruben Fleischer. Right before that, it was Travis Knight.
And John Early over there in the chats, thank you for coming on and watching and commenting. He says Spider-Man actor Tom Holland does not strike me as an Indiana Jones type, but he's an actor, so maybe he can do it. And look, I think, it's all about direction and acting and stuff, but just Tom Holland himself does not strike me as an Indiana Jones type. I do agree with that, but anything's possible, right? I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. John, do you feel like Sony Pictures? I love Sony. I'll let you chime in on that as well. But I feel like Sony Pictures, getting the same directors over and over again, don't the films start to feel kind of similar? Not to knock Sony, I do love Sony movies, but do you think they need a little bit new blood in the studio?
I definitely think they need a new blood, especially with the Venom movies, and then now you have Sony doing was it Morbius, and that also has like the same aesthetic as Venom, so I'm kind of concerned. I'm excited, but Ari Avid, he's behind it, and I'm like, I really like that guy. I'm concerned.
He is cool. He is a cool dude. Ari Avid. What is it? Ari Arad.
Ari Arad, yeah.
Okay, so look, I interviewed him, man. That guy is so cool. I feel like if we could bring him in here, and if you told him that, he'd be like, you know what? You're right, John. I think I'm gonna go out looking for some new blood. But John, before I interrupted you had a thought. You had your hand up.
Yeah, I did have a thought.
And since I'm the teacher here, I like to call on Mr. John.
Oh, I can speak now. Cool.
You may.
Okay. Let's say when you talked about Tom Holland, and then John on the comment section is talking about Tom Holland not seeming like an Indiana Jones type character. I think that's the point they're trying to do. And if you play the Uncharted games, young Nathan Drake, he doesn't catch you as a young or Indiana Jones character, or even young Indiana Jones in the movies didn't look like Indiana Jones. He looked completely different from Harrison Ford. And it's just all about like the coming of age story. So I think if you're trying to capture the games with young Nathan Drake, it would be cool to see a different story, because we've seen the older stories. Let's not touch the old stories. Let's have a whole new adventure. And I'm all for it.
Okay, guys. So that's awesome takes, but I'm going to give you guys both the last word, starting with Jeffrey, before we go on to our next topic. Jeffrey, would you like to add anything else to this?
I love Tom Holland. He is not fit to play Nathan Drake. Young Nathan Drake in the games is 10 to 13 years old. Tom Holland, I know he has that high-pitched voice, but he's 23 years old.
So do
okay?
I.
And these the young Nathan Drake parts in Uncharted were just a few not throwaway, but they were just a few short chapters in the game. And it's not, Uncharted is not young Nathan Drake. That is not a story I'm interested in, and it's not a story I want to see on screen. And Tom Holland just isn't cut out to play Nathan Drake. He's not Nathan Drake. And look, some actors just aren't meant to play certain characters. I think even Ryan Reynolds in this day and age would agree he was not a good Hal Jordan, and he was not a good Green Lantern. He was totally miscast. And I think most people, including Ryan Reynolds, would agree. It's just some roles you're just not cut out for. Some roles actors can grow into, and they can work it out. Sometimes they just can't.
John, would you like to add anything to that?
Of course I do.
Hurry up, John. Go.
Okay. He's Tom Holland. He can play young. He's what early 20s, right? But look at Tobey Maguire. He played Peter Parker as a high school kid, and maybe when Tom Holland, when he grows up, he's gonna start looking more like Nathan Fillion.
Is that your take?
Except that's not the take they're doing here, John. They specifically rewrote this as a young Nathan Drake story.
I'm okay with that because the definitive Uncharted story is in the games, and I don't want them butchering the game story.
Here's what I'm going to say about this entire situation. Tom Holland, to me, right now is Spider-Man, so it's going to be very difficult for me to picture him as something else. Let's leave it at that real quick, and I want to introduce. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments because this is live right now. The Nerd Report podcast. Make sure to subscribe, but check it out. You can watch it after. All right. There's going to be some information on what podcast outlets or irrigators, or is that the right word? You can listen to this later in your car or whatever it is. If you're listening after the fact, but if you're in the comments right now, feel free to chime in and we could add you in, and don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell because we will have some cool movie passes coming up. But anyways, let me introduce my other buddy real quick right here. We got from Muse TV, we got Mike Sandoval. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. Yesterday was kind of a busy day, but today is at least it's lightening up.
God, man. Listen, let me get you up to speed, all right? And same thing for the people who are watching right now. What we're doing is a podcast on Nerd Report here. We're calling it the Nerd Report podcast, all right? We have a few topics we pick out, or I pick out. Then I want you guys, if you guys have any topics you want to add to, feel free to do it. I'm talking to you in the comments and you guys that are on the live feed right now. And I'm gonna point to you guys for your takes on the situations. And we're gonna try to not talk over each other because I got some people are like, "Hey, who the hell? What's going on?" And they were accusing me of stuff Mike said, and I don't want to be confused with Mike ever. All right.
I mean, come on, you want to. You want to come to the
But I appreciate you guys. Okay,
Mike, you're a good guy. Don't listen to him.
Let's go to a serious topic here. Okay, so I don't even know how to even talk about this. Okay, so because there's no real way to talk about it, and someone has their mic on. If they could lower it, please. Yesterday, basketball legend Kobe Bryant passed away in a helicopter crash. I heard the news while I was at Frank and Son, which is a collectible show here in Los Angeles, and where they sell a lot of movie and sports memorabilia, right? But that's not the point. The point is there's a lot of sports fans there, a lot of Laker fans, a lot of Kobe Bryant fans. And when the news hit, people were coming up to me saying Kobe Bryant died. And when one guy showed me that, I was like, yeah, dude, this is bullshit. It's a fake death, right? Then another person came in. No, I heard that as well. Then I was looking for it, and we were like, dude, this has got to be bull, right? Because you think of someone like Kobe Bryant, he's a guy that we could talk about actors, but he was actually a sports figure who to many, even me, who's not a basketball fan at all, I perceive him as being invincible. So how the hell he was invincible in the court? Am I wrong? No, he's like one of the best, right? And in life too, he just like had everything, right? So the last person you expect anything wrong to happen. So after like a few moments, 10 minutes would pass by, we started seeing the news come in, and then people started talking about it. I was with a lot of people there, and everyone was in a funk, right? So I did a quick video here on Nerd Report, and a lot of I got mostly positive, for talk about the news and my feelings and my initial feelings, but there were a few people that were upset that I went on. But I think that's the way I looked at it, is like I consider the people on this channel on all the networks like family. So it's kind of weird that's who I talk to. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to just talk to you guys. Like that's my initial reaction, was to get on my phone and like a video and like say, hey, we're hearing this. What the hell is going on? So, but what really fucking hurt worse was seeing that his daughter that was 13, because I'm a dad, right? And seeing his daughter look just like him, man, and just smiling. And I'm not even a big fan of Kobe Bryant or basketball, but I do understand his impact in pop culture. But just to see that what was his feeling like with the accident and stuff like that, that's like a mess, man. It's like surreal and man, it's just fucked up. But I don't know if you guys want to add anything, but I don't know, man. It just it puts into question a lot of things about us and egos, and not saying that anybody had an ego, but like we're our mortality, man. It's deep that someone who I perceived as invincible, and I'm sure others that were fans perceived as invincible, that happened to him. And it's really messed up. Maybe Mike, you want to say a couple words? I don't even know what to say. Maybe what I said is wrong. I don't know, man, but it hurt me as someone who's looking at it from a real distant area.
Well, it affected everybody, especially here in LA. There's not many players in history, especially in the history of the NBA nowadays, that have been with one team their whole career and pretty much becomes a fabric within LA. He transcended the sport pretty much. That's something that every athlete would like to do. And he transcended it to a level that I don't think anybody could really match up with. For me, growing up, Michael Jordan was my favorite. And I can only imagine what kids who grew up, there's kids right now who are in their 20s who saw his whole career. And that was their Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant was their Michael Jordan. And he had it harder than Michael Jordan did because Kobe was in the middle of the social media revolution during this time, where everything was instant news, instant messaging of what happened during a game or during the story or what happened in his personal life, which makes it even harder. And I mean, I feel so bad for his family, for Vanessa, his kids,
terrible,
the Laker organization, because that's the one thing that people don't realize is that being somebody who worked in professional sports for a long time, when you're a part of the team, even when they retire and they are gone, it affects the team as well. And I'm really curious to see what they do tomorrow as the Clippers and the Lakers play for the first time at Staples Center after his death. I mean, it's something that, it's something unbelievable. Because you have people to pass away as they're getting older.
Especially he's so young. I mean, my idol back in the day was actually Mike Tyson, but you'd expect someone like Tyson, but he passed away because he was known for having a reckless kind of life, or he's known for that, but not Kobe Bryant, man. He's a family guy. John, would you like to add anything to that? No pressure, guys. If you guys just are lost for words, that's understandable.
No, it's a tragic death, especially with him, Kobe, and his daughter. They're just going on a trip for was it a basketball game? And
yeah, he was. It appears he was coaching, and the kids, I guess, his daughter's school where they play basketball, whatever. They were ready to receive Kobe, and they were all excited. The kids over there, and then what happened was, and I don't want to take anything away from what you're saying, John, but they were waiting for Kobe, and then the coaches got the news, and they stopped the game. And but
that's sad because the coach, he teaches kids, and just to have all these people, everyone's being affected by this tragic accident. So it's very sad. But I think it's seeing all these people come together, it's very heartwarming, and it's like emotional. You go to the Staples Center, everyone's there, everyone's gathering around with flowers and just speaking their mind about how they feel. And it's like it touches me.
Jeffrey,
I have some things I want to say. First of all, ESPN reports the cause of the crash is unknown. The helicopter departed from John Wayne Airport in Orange County. at 9:06 a.m. Pacific time. It was going to Mamba Sports Academy in Thousand Oaks for Gianna, that's Kobe's daughter, who passed away. Sources told ESPN. When I first saw the news, it was coming up on social media and the links weren't working. So I thought at first, so as much as I hate to say it, at first I thought it was a hoax because I've seen stories like this circulate on social media before. It looks like a celebrity or famous person has died when it was falsified. I saw this. I mean, again, I hate to say it, but it happened once with James Earl Jones, where I start. Oh, but the story was. But this turned out to be real, and I I can't even imagine what the family is going through right now because they didn't just lose Kobe Bryant; they lost a 13-year-old daughter, and I cannot even imagine uh, what that could be feeling or causing. And it wasn't just them. Other people, other parents, and other children died on this helicopter crash, and it was a tragic accident. But what really makes me angry is the way some of this media coverage unfolded. ABC News reporter Matt Gutman, the way he was on a national news broadcast and said all four of Kobe Bryant's daughters, including a newborn, were on board the helicopter when it crashed. There's no excuse for that. And I'm not going to call for Matt Gutman's job. I don't believe in cancel culture and all that, but I do believe he should be asked to step away from reporting and covering this story because he did apologize, but to inaccurately report that all of Kobe Bryant's daughters were on board a helicopter crash just minutes after this story is first reporting, and we don't even know how Kobe Bryant's wife and the rest of his family are finding out about this. To inaccurately report that all of their children died. I mean, Lewis, you're a father. How would that make you feel?
Well, Jeffrey,
That would make you feel horrible, right?
Yeah, I love your take because you're very passionate about stuff, but I don't want to give that reporter any time. But I will say this: sometimes, as a not even a close to being a pro reporter or whatever the hell we do here in journalism, sometimes people make mistakes. I like to think that no one would do anything like that on purpose. I think sometimes we get into the habit of just reading off a teleprompter and stuff like that, as funny as it may seem. And I'm with you. I don't want the guy to lose his job and stuff. It's probably an honest mistake. There wasn't any ill intent, but I gotta say, I just feel it's heartbreaking. His daughter, and there was also other people there that were in the plane with him, and one of the families kind of like mirrored Kobe's family, or the people who, Kobe and his daughter, because from what I understand, there was also the daughter's friend was going to the basketball game, and maybe they were on the same age, and then the mom and a dad. So that's an entire family wiped out from what last time I heard. I don't know if that's accurate, but condolences to them. And it's just a fact check to everyone. I mean, sometimes we go to a red carpet. We think we're the shit. We're fucking taking selfies. Look, we're with fucking Mark Hamill, whatever. We're invincible. And it's like, we're not. So all I could advise is like, call your friends, someone you haven't talked to in a long time, and just say, hey, what's up, man? Or someone you have a stupid grudge with, just call them up and say, hey, what's up? Because life is too short. And then one day something, God forbid, may happen. And you're like, man, I broke ties with that person for something stupid. But
tell your parents, your loved ones, tell them you love them and make sure they know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to nobody. Because this was a tragic accident. I mean, we don't know the full details, but that's the way it at least it looks right now based on the reports. But just I hate social media in general, but the way some of this came out on social media and the way people react, that I don't know. I'm sorry to say this, but it kind of makes me angry because like people were saying Rick Fox was on the helicopter. Rick Fox is another former Laker player. You know him, right, Mike?
Yeah, I know.
Like people were saying he died, and then there was this sort of devastation. We think Rick Fox is also dead, but he was not even on the helicopter. And I don't know where it originated, but it was getting talked about on social media. So you just have to watch out for that. And I don't know. It just makes me angry that things like that were coming out through social media and misinformation gets spread so fast. And I just wish it didn't. I wish it didn't happen that way. I get that people want to get this news out and get it out fast, but there's that video of Denzel Washington of, talking about, just trying to get it out first and not get it right. And I just wish people would take that even if it takes 12 hours, take the extra 12 hours to because even if it's a mistake, and yes, people make mistakes, it's a pretty big mistake, Lewis, to say all of his daughters and a newborn died.
But my last comment on that is like, I don't think that gentleman, the guy you were talking about, I forgot the reporter, actually
Matt Gutman.
Okay, I don't think Matt Gutman actually went out and researched that news.
He's a lead reporter, so
but it's sometimes something that's given to them. You know what I mean? By people who are on the ground. But anyways, let's rest in peace to Kobe.
Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, and
everyone
his daughter,
in LA,
and the other
everyone
souls.
in LA, everyone in that helicopter that unfortunately should be getting more focused on.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, I don't know their names. But that's the nature of what happened.
Christina Mauser, John Altobelli, Carrie and his wife Carrie, his daughter Alyssa are also confirmed to have passed. Also Sarah Chester, her daughter Peyton, a middle school student, Riley. Sarah Chester and her daughter Peyton are also confirmed, and the pilot was Ara Zobayan, who was also confirmed to have died in the crash. So rest in peace to those people.
Rest in peace, and thanks for all the
my thoughts just go out to their family right now, because I didn't lose anyone in this crash, but they've lost. It's more something like more than most people can bear. So I just hope they can. I don't know. I don't even know what to say, but it just makes me sad.
Everyone here said what they said, spoke well because they spoke from their heart, I believe, and I know you guys personally. So, and people in the chat and stuff, you guys want to talk about it, feel free to. But right now we're gonna move to our next topic. But just in case you guys are just tuning in, we have a few topics that I set up, and we're going through those, and we want you guys to join us in the comments. If you want, I want our guests to join us in the comments. Add to the topics, and we're calling it the Nerd Report Podcast. And I'm going to try to do it often, and I'm going to try to do it like during rush hour, like LA rush hour, and hopefully East Coast rush hour as well. So like I can get you guys to somehow watch this thing in your car, because living in LA, I know it sucks being in the car, man. You're there for hours and you want long form nerd and geek videos, right, to listen to, because shit, you don't want to look at me, right? But anyways, this next topic, okay, and I know
before we continue, is this gonna be like a 3-hour rush hour, or is it a 1 hour?
Well, if you're talking about LA, the rush hour is 3 hours.
Yeah,
no matter what. I mean, during not rush hours, right? If you guys want to support the channel, CinemaCon is coming, and it's gonna cost our crew a good amount of change. So I have a few links where you guys can support. Patreon, Streamlabs. If you guys want to give a $1 donation, whatever it is, to help me get my crew there, so we could do some on-camera recapping of the event, some interviews, get some better equipment, and whatever. Maybe, we got Matt Jarbo. Matt Jarbo's on the chat, but he didn't join us. I send you the link, man. So if you want to talk, you come on in here. That's the bottom line. Now, okay, so this next topic, all right. I'm gonna bring it up, but you do not have to talk about it. And I'm looking at someone here that may not want to talk about it, and you know who you are. Okay, so Birds of Prey is about to hit. Do you guys know when Birds of Prey is?
February 7th in theaters.
Okay, so for what I understand, the embargo lifts the day before, right? So it's gotten people to talk about two things when it comes to Birds of Prey. All right. Number one, that could mean that the movie's not that good. Okay. Yet the thing is, though, the social media embargo lifts way before, right? On the 28th, I believe. So
Wednesday.
All right. So this Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then there's the other thing too.
Social, but not review.
No, yeah. So the other thing as well is that it's gotten us nerds and geeks to speculate. Did I say it right? Matt, you correct me when you talk to me. That maybe there's a big surprise in it. Jared Leto's Joker may be in it, but people are starting to say that maybe the Batman's is in it somehow, right? End credit scene. Who knows? I would love to somehow have this connected to not Heath Ledger. What am I saying? Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, right? I would love for them to continue with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, not Jared Leto's. No offense to him, but he's not my Joker. It's funny how people will call him the Joker, but are kind of on the fence of calling Joaquin Phoenix a Joker.
Who are these people?
I don't know. One of them's in here, Jeffrey. But anyways, let's just have fun with this. Does anyone in here think? Let's start with Jeffrey. Do you think there's any possibility that, number one, this movie is not meeting expectations, or number two, there's a big reveal in it? What do you think it is, or none of the above?
I think if the review embargo is being held until the day before, that's typically a bad sign, and that's a major red flag to me. I've seen no evidence to suggest look, could there be some cameos or some references? Possibly. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm not expecting that. But I'm not going to take any of that in with me when I see the movie. I'm going to give the movie its fair shot, just like I would any other. I'm not particularly excited about it, but it does have Ewan McGregor as Black Mask, and I do think it's cool that Black Mask is in the movie. I think Margot Robbie is an okay Harley Quinn. I don't think she was that good in Suicide Squad, but we'll see where they go. I'll see where they go with it. I'll give the movie its fair shot. I don't think Batman is in it. Joaquin Phoenix is definitely not in it, because that would make no sense. And connecting this movie with Joker the way that movie was and the way this movie is would make absolutely no sense and would be ridiculous. Did
you see Crisis?
Yes, I saw Crisis.
Everything's fair game.
Crisis had one scene with Ezra Miller in it that
could have easily been the portal could have easily been connected.
Okay,
to
this is not. There's no alternate universes or interdimensional travel in this film, so there's nothing. Joaquin
How do we
Phoenix,
know?
I will bet you money. I will bet you.
Well,
something.
no, we can't. Well, first of all, I don't bet. Second of all, there wasn't any interdimensional mumbo jumbo in Tim Burton's Batman, but they had him in the Crisis.
Michael Keaton was in Crisis.
They had the world that Gotham was in Crisis.
Oh, okay, so
But you're saying that Joaquin Phoenix's these movies don't have parallel universes.
Okay, but that's not what Birds of Prey is about. There's no.
We don't know. It's not out.
Wait, what do you think
Lewis,
it's about?
Lewis, you're being obstinate. You're being belligerent. You're being obtuse. Okay.
I'm saying
There's no
anything's
Joaquin
possible.
Phoenix. There's no Joaquin Phoenix in Birds of Prey. Okay, it's not happening. And quite frankly,
What about Robert Pattinson's Batman?
No, definitely not.
Why
That
not?
movie because that movie, first of all, that movie just started filming and Birds of Prey is in the can. Second of all,
You could do a 1 minute thing at the end.
second
like
of
they did with
all,
Ezra Miller.
having Joaquin Phoenix would ruin that movie, The Joker. It would ruin what that movie created, and what that movie created should be a standalone one-off character piece. They should never make a sequel. They should never make a follow-up ever. It should just exist as it is now.
Why is it that movie has to be a standalone?
Because it was made and marketed as a standalone character piece. That's what Warner
Same
Brothers
thing with
called
Captain
it.
America: The First Avenger.
No,
Yeah, it was.
it never was.
John,
No,
who
wrong.
was the first
Erroneous.
Iron Man? Who was the character in the first Iron Man movie?
What do you mean? Tony Stark?
Yeah, didn't.
Talk about the actor Robert Downey or
It's a
the character?
standalone movie.
That you don't know.
Yeah.
Iron Man was written for sequels and follow-ups. There's a post-credit scene at the movie introducing Samuel Jackson and Shield and Nick Fury.
You're right. It kind of reminded me of when the Joker was in Arkham Asylum, reminiscing on how he was responsible for the Wayne murders, the kid that will become Batman in the next movie. Mike, what do you think is the big Mike, what do you think is the next what do you think is the big deal here with Birds of Prey and the embargo? Do you think it's a big secret they're holding, or do you think we're going to go ahead and the movie is not going to meet expectations?
I have a few things, especially with
boy.
Warner Brothers when it's coming down to this promotion of the film, because I don't know. I know I'm not going to get a screening to see it already. I already know. I'm not holding my breath. I'm going to pay a ticket just like everybody else. And if it sucks, I'm going to tell people what it's like. Because you know what? I'm tired of this Warner Brothers bull sending YouTube channels with 47 subscribers down to London to go do one-on-ones. Beside the point, though. Really beside the point, because I'm just like fed up with this industry already when it comes to the mainstream movie distribution channel.
All right, Kristen Harloff.
As for the movie, well, hey, but here's the thing. I'm not talking out of my butt. I actually have the data now, and have the data to prove it.
Okay.
There's another thing too.
Okay.
When it comes to the movie,
the embargo is
when it comes to the movie and the embargo, I have a feeling there's a lot in there. After Joker, I don't think they want to ruin anything moving forward. They're very scared. They're very, very cautious about this movie, and they want it to do well, especially with Wonder Woman 84 coming out later on this year. I thinking the reason why they're doing the embargo so close is because they don't want a lot to get out. Because what's
going to get out?
I don't know. I haven't really followed much on this movie. I know it's supposed to be it's in the world, but it's in Batman's world, but nobody else. It's going to be interesting to see what's actually going to get out. Is there surprises? I've heard Jared Leto's Joker. I've heard a lot of things. I have a feeling something's going to connect to something. And it may be connect to Patterson's Batman and not show anything, just show some type of connection. But there's going to be something tells me there's a connection.
Okay, hold on. It's Pattinson's Batman. Sorry, it's Pattinson's Batman because right now, as you said that, a little doggy that looks like Batman just pulled up from John's show.
And got angry because when I said it.
And he has the ears just like Batman. What the hell? And he barked.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
he got a little offended on that one. So
Yeah.
I'm
No,
feeling it may
it's
be
the
true.
Batman. All
Yeah,
right,
but you're gonna connect.
I'm gonna leave it right here with that, and I don't really care what John has to say in this topic. But anyways,
I want to hear what John has to say.
I do not want to know what John has to say. I disagree with him all the time.
Does John have the same feelings I have?
Okay, listen. Here's the deal. Ladies and gentlemen. This is the Nerd Report podcast. I have a few guests on. I got John from Nerd Reactor, Mike from Use TV, and my man Jeffrey Harris from Hollywood Purgatory. All these guys have awesome takes, and I'm trying to do this more often. I invited other people, but they flaked on me. But I'm sure they'll come around and come to the next podcast, right? So if you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe right now. Hit the notification bell, because not only do we talk about all things entertainment, but we also do giveaways such as movie passes and stuff like that. And we just like to have fun, and mainly we like to include the people watching in the comments and whatnot. So I've picked out 4 topics today. We're going to go through those. Feel free to add your 2 cents in there. If you guys want to add a topic, go ahead in the comments. My guest today, go ahead, do the same. And my 4th and final personal topic right now is going to be, I'm going to ask you guys, all right, as someone who's not big on the Star Wars animation, I'm not a big animation guy. I like live action. That's what I grew up with. When I grew up, the entire thing with Star Wars was that this became real. The galaxy far, far away became real, right? So from when they do animation, it's kind of like regressing to me. So I'm kind of on the fence, always watching it. But I do enjoy some of it when I do see it, right? That being said, the Clone Wars is about to hit Disney Plus, and they unleashed a trailer. And that trailer looks really like awesome to me, right? Especially Ahsoka Tano. But a few people during the trailer, they kind of had like a little standoff with her and Darth Maul, and it sparked a debate. Is this a dumb character to be fighting Darth Maul, or to stand toe to toe with the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Maul? My take on it is, I don't know Ahsoka very well, but I know a lot of people I respect say that her character development has been earned as far as like being a badass Jedi or trainee. And I will say this, Darth Maul, if you've only go by the Phantom Menace, he looks awesome, but he's a bumbling idiot. He couldn't get the boy on Tatooine, and he got killed when he had the high ground. So I don't know. So yes, and wasn't Obi-Wan a Padawan as well? But anyways, here's the question. Jeffrey, I know you're gonna go off on this, but is Ahsoka Tano, does she suck or is she awesome?
I mean, I have no problem with Ahsoka Tano. She's not a favorite character for me. I do think Dave Filoni is a little overly sentimental toward the character, and I think it kind of showed in Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
How spoiler can we get for Rebels? Because
let's keep everything vague, because
I think Dave Filoni is overly sentimental about the character. I don't see why Darth Maul is this sacred cow. I get that he has this expanded whole backstory from the Clone Wars and all that, but we only saw him for only a handful of scenes in the Phantom Menace, and he gets chopped in half.
He failed both scenes.
He gets chopped in half by Obi-Wan, young Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was still a Padawan learner at that point. So if this is because of the John Campea rant where he goes off on Ahsoka and the idea that, well, if Ahsoka did beat Darth Maul, we know she wouldn't beat him for good, because Darth Maul is still around years later.
What?
So, well, I mean, look, that's established. He's in Rebels, which takes place a short time before Episode 4.
No, I'm not gonna watch Rebels.
Damn it.
So I don't see why people would get angry. Again, Darth Maul, he was only made a bigger character because of Clone Wars anyway, which is the show that introduced Ahsoka Tano, who, and quite frankly, I get that Clone Wars is very popular, but to me, it does not mesh well with the prequels at all. And it doesn't really fit.
It's better than the prequels.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit in with what Lucas established with the prequels, whether he worked on Clone Wars or not, and I do realize he did have some creative and story influencing on the Clone Wars, but I just feel like the anger on Ahsoka Tano is misplaced. Other than that, yes, Dave Filoni is a little overly sentimental toward the character. I'm sorry, Matt, but I think Rebels proves that. But I don't dislike the character. Matt Jarbo of $3 Theater.
What did he say?
Because he was really upset about what John Campea was saying about Darth Maul and Ahsoka Tano. So,
well, I think Matt was also like, I don't know the situation, or do I want to get involved?
Matt's a big fan of the prequels and Clone Wars.
But the thing is though too, and I would love Matt's opinion here, maybe in the comments, or if he would have picked up the link and been in here with us.
And no, Ahsoka is not a Mary Sue.
But it's also frustrating to hear someone say that I haven't watched the show, Rebels or whatever, Clone Wars, but this character is not that good. And that's essentially what kind of happened. You get what I mean? Same kind of like The Witcher, right? Remember those reviews?
Yes, I do.
If you're a host that's highly respected, and you're saying, "Hey, this character Ahsoka can't beat Darth Maul, and she's like insignificant, but I've never watched the show she was in." That's the same thing as saying I didn't like, right?
Lewis, it's kind of like what you say, that you don't like animation because it's not real. It's sort of, whenever you say that, I have bile. I have bile rising up in my craw when you say
I'll
that.
Couple that with that Clone Wars and Rebels is awesome. It proved me wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll give it a chance. John, do you want to add anything to it?
To Clone Wars and
Ahsoka. Does she suck?
Ahsoka? I don't think she sucks. I don't think she sucks. Like with Clone Wars, they give her, a lot of episodes to grow as a character, and she trains, really young, and she's part of the whole prequel where she's being trained with Anakin. And then if you were to watch Rebels, it's no surprise that Darth Vader is in Rebels, Star Wars Rebels. So you watch it and you're like, oh no, what's going on? So it's just like a really crazy journey. And
I thought the emotional arc of Ahsoka and Rebels was very well done, especially the interactions she had with Darth Vader, considering their backstory.
Yeah,
I really liked it. So that's my main thing on Ahsoka.
Hold on,
I
John,
like the character. I like the character.
John?
Yes?
Anything else you want to add to that?
I don't get what the whole hubbub's about with it's talking crap on her.
Okay, look, it's nothing big. It's nerd stuff, right? At the end of the day, which is cool. We want to escape. Mike, would you like to add anything? Are you familiar with Ahsoka? I've never really talked to you about her.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the character. I see nothing wrong with her. I like the character
because she beat Darth Maul, hold her own against Vader, and kill the Emperor.
I like the way I just like the way her storyline and her arc was between the Clone Wars and what happened with Rebels was really smart, and it was an intelligent character. The Darth Maul one was hit and miss every certain times, especially coming back, and especially bringing him back, and then he's half mechanical, then half real, half not. It's just too much, But I did like the way he confronts Obi-Wan on Tatooine. I did like that scene.
Darth Maul in the animation, he's fleshed out in a way that we never saw on film. Like the character we saw in Phantom Menace is not even the character in Clone Wars and Rebels. They're not even the same character to me. He was never in the animated shows. He's like this deeply philosophical, introspective. Yeah, yes, he is sort of tyrannical.
To build from what Jeffrey just mentioned, another reason I resent the animation with Star Wars is because it is better than the prequels. Like Jeffrey said, Darth Maul was flushed out. The clones are awesome in it. From what I've seen, the battles are awesome. And to me, real Star Wars is live action. And here are these cartoons, just like being super awesome. You know what I mean? Jeffrey, do you get what I'm saying there?
I get what you're saying, but Clone Wars was not the hot ticket to me. The hot ticket was Rebels because that actually felt like classic Star Wars. It felt like we were back in where
Well, because it had the
Star
music,
Wars-
right? It added the music and everything.
Clone Wars had some of the music, but it felt more like the original trilogy, and it felt
Yeah.
more in that style, that sort
yeah.
of format, more so than Clone Wars.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about because Clone Wars is more like the prequels.
Yeah.
And with Rebels, it takes place after Order 66. And, the
Right.
Jedis are wiped out. And you have that feeling of there's a new guy. He could be a Jedi and he's being trained.
Right.
So it's that journey that, people loved about Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
All right,
But-
guys and gals in the chat, and you guys who are here with us on the Nerd Report podcast. That's my topics. But do you guys want to add anything? Any topic you guys for the next 10 minutes? This is go crazy.
Yes.
John, you first?
Birds of Prey.
What about Birds of Prey? Tell me.
I just want to say with the whole embargo, it's a Wednesday. That's the review embargoes on Wednesday. There's let's say Avengers Endgame. The embargo was on a Tuesday. One day before, big whoop.
Well, if they man, should I say this? If they said we have a new Avenger movie, but it's playing at the same time as Birds of Prey, I'd go to Birds of Prey. But anyways, because I know what's going to happen in I want to see DC do some stuff now. You know what I mean? I want variety, but I'd eventually watch the Marvel movie because Black Widow looks awesome. Is that all?
Oh yeah, that's it.
That's it. Oh,
what do you want?
Any topic, Mike? You have any topics?
Well, wrestling started off pretty good today.
What happened?
Opened up with Drew McIntyre winning the Royal Rumble from yesterday, and then Lesnar came in and took him out. I think that's going to be the WrestleMania main event this year. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see as we get closer to March, because I have a feeling they're going to announce WrestleMania next year will be at the new stadium in LA. I have this weird feeling. That's about it.
Nice. Jeffrey?
The Witcher is getting an animated movie.
Witcher animated movie? Okay.
So Netflix... So not only are we going to get a second season, we at the very least know we're going to get an animated movie as well. And I'm very happy about that. I hope it's good. It's from Studio Mir, the studio behind Legend of Korra. And it sounds like it's going to be good. They also did the Boondocks and Voltron. So I'm very happy about that. And I hope Henry Cavill and the rest of the cast who does appear in the animated movie will return to voice their characters. I think this is a cool idea. And I hope we see more stuff like that. I love the Witcher books and games. So I hope we continue to get more material. Like we can get like a whole transmedia look at John's reading the books now. We've got another convert. It's great. I really love these characters, and I'm very happy that we have a fantasy series to replace Game of Thrones, which was always overrated, overhyped trash. George R.R. Martin, finish your damn book for once. Stop talking about how your ending's going to be different. Write a damn ending, man. It's on you, man. It's on you. It's your fault, George R. R. Martin.
Are you guys down to come in tomorrow again?
Who?
All of you.
Oh,
I tomorrow afternoon I can. Yeah.
Okay, I can because tomorrow I'm at a Disney event.
Oh, Disney! You gotta tell me more about this.
I thought you never got invited to Disney. What's going on here?
Well, not the studio first run film print. This is for the
Frozen.
Yep.
What's going on with Frozen? Can you tell us?
I don't know if we can.
Are you, John? Are you going to that?
No, because I'll be in London.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, talking about people with no following that gets.
Nah, here's the thing. Here's the thing. He has a following at least. He freaking does his work. He has a following.
That's not what you said when he wasn't around.
Oh no. There's
I'm saying rhythm. I'm saying rhythm.
There's outlets who are getting flown to London who do not have a following, who have been lying about being broadcast, that their numbers are higher than what they are.
Ooh,
Whereas
Mike.
John, his numbers are actually legit. He has a good following. He does the work.
He's kind of hot. He looks like a Asian
Well,
Superman.
That's on you on that one. But see, that's the difference. It's like John does the work. He has a number. You see that you put in the work. Whereas there's some that are going to be there.
Right. I can't even tell the difference between him and 3PO next to him.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. There's some out there who are lying about their numbers, lying about being broadcast.
I want names. Spill.
It's like, it's ridiculous.
Lewis wants drama.
Well,
I'm
I'm going to be honest with you. I think this topic is about Birds of Prey, being able to cover it. I didn't get asked to go to London or anything. I haven't even been asked to watch the movie. Well, no, actually, that's wrong. I did get asked to do something, which I'm not going to say. But I'm good because I was able to do a set visit that I did the coverage. So I'm happy. I do think Muse needs to be invited. I don't think one was watching this, but I think Hollywood Purgatory, Muse TV deserve to be there and stuff. I don't know how they do their stuff, but I'm personally
subscribers do I need to get?
I'm happy with what I got, and that's what I could say for myself. And you know,
well, it's like we're about to hit 10,000 subscribers and 8 million views, and it's like we still don't get any.
Go give them a what's your channel?
It's you can find us at YouTube when you do a search on Muse TV, or you could use the URL youtube.com/Muse TV HD or Muse Video HD. That's a new one.
So far we got Jeffrey's going to be back at 5. We need to pick out a few topics. Hollywood Purgatory will be there. Jeffrey, help me pick out a few topics. Send them to me. Feel free if you guys want to add any topics in the comments below after this video is over, and that's the way we'll do it. But I don't know.
Thank God. I just want to say, Mike, thank God Brock Lesnar did not win the Royal Rumble last night.
Oh, same here. Same here.
I would have broken it. Drew McIntyre, the Scottish dude.
Mm-hmm. It had a better ending than the turning.
And Edge came back, and the rumors are true about Edge. Yeah, Edge was back in the ring last night.
You think you know me?
Yeah, that guy. First time in the ring in 9 years, considering he had to retire due to like the spine, like his vertebra was like narrowing. So I hope he's okay. I'm glad he's back, but I hope he's okay to be. But they would not have let him back in the ring unless he went through like rigorous medical clearing and all that, with the way they have all that set up now. So I hope, but I'm happy for him. So good for Edge making his big return. It was that was a great moment, even though the camera people and the production people screwed it up by cutting away when he gets into when he hits the ring, and he was supposed to spear Dolph Ziggler, and they cut it off. Like come on. You're WWE. You should be able to get that stuff on camera. But yeah, it was the Rumble itself, I think, turned out good. And I think Drew McIntyre was the right way to go. And yeah, maybe we should go to WrestleMania next year if it's coming to LA.
Sure. Just become a Patreon.
I got back in the day, I got credentialed for WrestleMania once.
Me too.
A long time ago. But I
did.
Jeffrey
was cool with us.
Jeffrey, real quick. I want you to read what's going to go on screen right now. You ready?
Okay, sure. New Transformers movies in development at Paramount from Army of the Dead and Zodiac writers. Where is this from? The website is yeah, but where is the source?
THR.
The Hollywood Reporter.
Why not just put the Hollywood Reporter story up instead of comicbookmovie.com?
Because I just looked at comicbookmovie.com.
Why do you do that?
I did it because I don't know.
Because we follow comic books.
Hollywood Reporter
Nerd Report
is too corporate for me, and I want to give a dog a bone.
I mean,
why? What do you have against them?
I'm not going to say anything right now.
I think you have a favorite website. It starts with a W. You want to talk about that?
No, I don't. It's
Anyways,
just they're writing a script. We don't know if they're making a movie right now. They're writing scripts. We'll see.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
in regard, let's talk about that tomorrow. Let's see. But anyways, now, Jeffrey, these websites have a lot of writers. If some of them aren't that good, it doesn't reflect off the management. What do you think of that?
I didn't say anything.
All right, we're coming to an hour of this. We're passing it, which is awesome. And I think it's Jeffrey's time to go to sleep. Jeffrey? No?
No?
No.
All right, guys. John, real quick, where can people follow you?
People can follow me on Nerd Reactor at Nerd Reactor.
Sweet. Mike, where can people follow you?
You could follow us at musetv.net, musetv1 on Twitter, musetv on Instagram, and on YouTube. Just search Muse TV, and you'll find our latest stuff. We talked to Greta Gerwig this weekend at the Scripter Awards, so you can check that video out right now.
Jeffrey, where can we find you?
Okay,
He
on
said
Twitter.
Tomorrow.
On
Here.
Twitter, I am at Wheeljack83. YouTube, I am Hollywood Purgatory. Online for my reviews, interviews, and content, you can check out 411mania.com. And on Apple Podcasts, I am the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. If you're a wrestling fan, check that out. It is on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify, the 411 Wrestling Podcast. Thank you, everybody. And I appreciate you having me on, Louis.
And my name is Louis Lecca, and you could find me at Trejo's Tacos.
Ooh.